Hello, everyone. If you're watching this later, we are doing a lunch dev session today. You can join our Discord at events.lunch.dev, where we just kind of explore code together, and it's super fun. Today, what we're doing is we are playing through Remix. And the goal for today, and so now I'm switching out of intro mode. The goal for today that what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Remix docs and just kind of explore what it is that we need to do. Now, I'm going to tell you the two things that I've done so far. I created a new directory and I made an npm-rc file that just has it has, let me see if I can, it says that I'm not supposed to show it. So I'm gonna obey that as much as I can. I'm gonna go to remix.run right now, and then maybe I can show part. Nope, hard to do. But yeah, in the Remix documentation, once you have a Remix account, you log in. It shows you the information. It will have your license right here, and then it tells you that you need to put this in an npm-rc so that when you do the npm commands, it goes to like, I guess, like a private I don't know, private registry, and then uses your license to actually get you the code. So I had to do that, just FYI. That is the only thing that I've done though. And so now I'm going to pull this page up. I think it's just docs.remix.run. And we're going to go through it. Now, the goal for today is not like just me going through this. I'm going to be driving, but if you have questions, just shout them out. This is a very collaborative effort. We're going to be hanging out, learning together as we go along. So no pretense here at all. Just a few folks pairing together. So I'm going to jump right up to the top, install Remix. Any questions kind of before we dive in about like kind of where things are, licenses, what it costs, what is Remix?
Not questions on that. I'm just curious, like, do you have an idea of what you want to build, or are you just going to be totally like making it up as you go along?
Yeah. Also, hello.
Hey,
Good to see you. Good to see you in here, Brooks.
thanks.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be just kind of making it up as we go. Or I mean, I'm pretty sure I did take a cursory look at these, and
Sure.
these tutorials kind of go through like collecting a bunch of gists and setting up routes and whatnot. So my goal was to get as far as we can through maybe these early guides, and then just kind of see what that unlocks, and then what questions it might introduce for us. So yeah, that's kind of my goal. And then I was thinking maybe next step when we do another one of these is maybe build something that we're, you know, I don't know, maybe a product that we're like familiar with. So maybe like something like a to-do app where we know all the ins and outs of how to do it, and then just kind of figure out how to do it with Remix. Okay, cool. So let's dive in. Prerequisites: you need a Remix license, so you can go to the dashboard if you have one, or buy one here. We have Node.js, and then it looks like all we need to do is run npm init remix. I have no idea what this does, but we'll find out.
So I think that might work like Create React App, where it creates a directory for you.
Okay.
And so
Oh.
yeah, it might not. So let's just see what happens.
It is interesting because you have to put the npm-rc somewhere, and so I figured I should probably put that inside of a directory.
Yeah, I think their suggestion at this point is actually to put it in the global npm-rc that is in your home directory.
Gotcha. So then if I want to make a project at any point in any path, put that, it'll inspect that theoretically.
Exactly, because
Okay.
the way that npm works is it starts in the current directory and it just keeps going up until it gets to your home directory, I guess.
Mhm.
Runs out of directories to
Exactly.
stuff up.
Yeah. So yeah, this is probably the best way to do it.
Okay, cool.
If I were you, I would just, as soon as you're done doing this, just
move it up.
move it into the.
I gotta hoist it up.
Actually, you can keep it where it is right now, and then just go into the next directory up.
Yeah.
For your project, you don't even have to move anything.
That is a very interesting thing to know right off the bat. So, summary, if I'm understanding it correctly, I do need to have it at the root of wherever I'm running this command or higher, or lower? How does that work?
Depending on which direction you're looking. I mean,
Closer to the
programming
drive.
trees are all upside down anyway, so
Okay, cool. So this command will create a project for me, and because I'm already in a directory, it's going to do it inside of the directory that I've already made, the remix run through directory. Fair enough. Welcome Remix.
I
Let's
do
get you set up with
appreciate
a
the
new project.
colors, taking the time.
The
yeah.
what?
I appreciate them taking the time to put some colors in their
Yeah,
CLI
it's
there.
cute. Super cute.
The CD drive icon, that's nostalgia.
Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, it looks like it wants your license key, so you might want to stop screen sharing for a minute.
Okay, what is your remix license key? Okay, this is interesting because I put it in that directory.
Yeah, I think what it's going to do is configure your global your home directory npmrc file for you.
Okay. Um, okay. I don't mind if you all
And
see it, but I will. I'll edit this part out. Okay. So where you wanted to. Okay. So the first thing is yes. So it put. If we were reading the notes, it wrote the remix to, as you'd mentioned above, the kind of my personal directory .npmrc. So don't need to provide it next time. That's very cool. Very nice. Where do you want to deploy? Choose Remix if you're unsure. So Remix app server. Interesting. So I hit Ryan up and he said he recommended fly.io right now. I don't have an account there, but maybe that's a good thing for our purposes. I don't even know if we'll get to deploying it today, but
Does it go into what the difference is? I mean, some of these I know the difference because I've used them, but
yeah, so it looks like I don't know anything. So I would have a question right away about like what a Remix app server is. I don't know.
I have an answer.
Alex, yes, good to have you here today. You know all the things.
Yeah.
Obviously, Express is, I imagine, just kind of like a standard Node Express
Mhm.
server. Architect is I can go to some of these actually.
Yeah, arc.codes for architect.
Cool.
That's Brian LaRue's open source project that he built the Begin platform on.
Oh, I don't think I realized that was Brian LaRue.
Yeah, we had him on a UI.dev event
Hmm.
yesterday. That's the only reason that it's top of mind for me.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so this is fly.io. We have architect at arc.codes. We have what, Vercel.com. We're familiar with that. We've put some stuff there. So these are the ones that they recommend.
Mhm.
Express, I guess, theoretically could go anywhere. I'm going to
Yeah,
go.
and then
Oh, sorry.
Remix app server is an abstraction on top of Express. So think of it
Gotcha.
as like with Create React app, you can eject and then it's just raw Webpack. With Remix app server, it's just Express under the hood,
Okay.
to use a car metaphor. A not Tesla car metaphor.
Yeah, because under the hood is just more storage, right?
Yeah, it's under the seats for Tesla, I guess.
Okay, TypeScript or JavaScript? Oh, oops. I am gonna go JavaScript. Sorry, everybody. Just because I think that I'll be confused by all the types. Just for this one.
The good news is if you want to take a look at the type definitions as we go through, you can
Mhm.
easily open them up in Visual Studio Code
Cool.
since they ship with it. So
Now, it is worth noting that the responsiveness to these seems like it's not showing much, but I'm hitting enter and it's a good like 20, 30 seconds. I don't know if that's like a um, just because I got a lot of stuff running right now or what, but they are slow. So if you run this generator, know that there is a little bit of a lag between hitting enter and getting a response. Do you want me to run npm install? Oh, interesting. Me. That gives me some like creepy machine vibes for sure. Yes, let's do it. Save me the 5 characters. Okay, so not so bad so far. So I didn't need to do the whole like thing where I put the npm rc token in there. It does it for me the first time. That's a nice thing to know. Okay, cool. So it did a bunch of stuff. That's it. CD into my Remix app.
Is the license for like an unlimited amount of apps for the time period, or is it like
The,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
I don't want to over. Yeah. The license is for whatever you want to do at this point. They have a team license, so if you're doing it as part of a team, then you should get that. But for individuals, as many projects as you want, and the license doesn't run out. You just stop getting updates as soon as the license is over. But then you stick with whatever version you have when the license expires.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's not a
but
ton of information about that right now, right? Because I think that the goal is to get everyone who prepaid at least through like a version 1 or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, by October, when the year after they started doing the preview hits, I imagine we'll have a 1.0, and they're planning on completely revamping the licensing structure so it's dual licensed to make it really easy for content creators like Michael Chan here to do stuff without having to buy a license.
Yeah, which will be nice, I think. I think probably necessary because, how do you kind of like explore the framework, like get a sense, like evaluate it without having to like pay for it up front, and then
Yeah,
also like how do you make content for it without having to first figure out the licensing thing, who can follow along without at least some kind of free to play around with license, etc. So
yeah.
I'm excited to see that they're going to be figuring that out a little bit better. Okay, so let's see what we got. So we have a remix.config file. That seems probably like one of the most important things that we should check out first. Um, Regular module, common JS, for what it's worth. And let's see, app directory app. So that maps to this pre-filled directory. Uh, Browser build directory. Okay, so this is where it builds. Public path.
Mm.
And then server build directory. Interesting. Okay, and then dev server port. So I imagine that we can change this to whatever we want. Whoops.
Yeah, I normally.
Hey, Ferret. Okay, cool. So let's see. So we do also have the public directory. Nothing's built there yet. Public path. I'm curious how these. I don't know if you have any quick answer on that, Alex. Kind of like the diff between these, or if this is specific to our
Not
fly.
offhand, but
Okay.
it's on. So all of this is remix only, and it's in the docs. If you go to the
Okay.
remix.config.js.
Okay, so I guess let's jump back into that's a good prompt there. Let's get back into the docs. Oh, it says to pick Remix app server, so I've already screwed up. For the tutorial, you notice that there are a lot of options, so you can deploy and serve any server you want. Okay, so let's do npm run dev and see what happens. Okay, so this is gonna do this at localhost 3000. Even though the dev server port is 8002. So is that
you
like
think that's the
Webpack dev
backend
server?
port?
Okay, yeah, maybe. Yes. Yeah, I need to. This is all kind of like tricky in my mind because I'm so used to statically generated site thinking right now that Remix is going to be remixing my brain up. Okay, so I think it's running. Let's see. Yep, doesn't get me there. Localhost 3000. Cool. Welcome to Remix. Check out the docs to get started. Message from the loader. This is awesome. Okay, cool. This page was rendered at timestamp. Great. Okay, cool. So we've successfully installed Remix. Ta-da! Congratulations, everybody. Golf clap, round of applause. Defining routes. Okay, so routes in Remix can be defined in two ways: by file name convention inside of the app routes directory, or manually with the routes function in remix.config.js, which we have open right here. for this getting started guide, we'll just cover the conventional files, cover the conventional files, but check the routing guide to learn more about manual routes. Okay, so creating your first route. Let's create our first route. That's exactly what we want to do. So I guess just to be thorough, we do have a README. I suspect that that's going to, so it looks like it has documentation and dashboard, instructions specifically on Fly, which is actually, this is actually really neat. Because one thing about Create React App, I don't know if it's different now, but they've had in the past that massive README that has instructions for installing on all of the various places that you would want to. It's very cool that they kind of, ask you where you're going to serve it up front and then post those instructions just for that. Really neat. Package JSON, get ignore. So let's see. So the public build and the server build are getting ignored. That's probably worth noting. Those aren't going to get pushed up version controlled. So public and then build. Okay. So let's jump into our app directory. That's where our app lives. We have routes, styles, entry.client.jsx and entry.server.jsx and the root. Okay, so create a file like app/routes/gists.tsx. Okay, well, we're not using TSX. That's fine. So routes, we have an index here. I'm going to do a new file. Gist.js. I'm just going to copy paste. It's interesting because it says .tsx, but then this is just a bog standard JSX file.
And there's not much to type in that specific example, I think is why.
It's true. Yeah, for sure.
It could go either way.
But don't you just feel so much safer?
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's called the file's called JSX. Okay, cool. So, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just to say when I started learning TypeScript, I would just change all the files that didn't actually have any typings, so I felt accomplished for the day.
Who was it? Was it David Khorshid who had a tweet? Someone had a tweet where like the lazy version of typing is just to let like write JavaScript, let VS Code kind of assume the type, and then hover over it, copy and paste it into your into your code,
Nice.
and have that as your starting point.
That's great.
I like it. The Lazy Typist. That would be a good book, actually. Okay, so let's, or a good joke book. Let's add a link to this route from the root layout. Open apps.root or apps/root.tsx. So app root JSX and add a link. Okay, so we need to do an import to structure a link out from React Router DOM.
I see your pilot's working there.
Interesting.
Copilot.
Oh, yeah. I forget that it's there. Okay. React Router DOM. Okay, cool. And then we're going to use that link. So we'll put this. So what do we have here? So we have a document that takes children. We have a loader here, just kind of feeling it out. We have our app document. So that's calling this one using an outlet question mark. Footer. This is a regular look. So this document is kind of like a regular looking HTML setup.
As soon as you want me to walk you through it, I'm happy to, but I don't have to.
I just wanted to remark that it is absolutely bizarre seeing head tags and body tags directly in my JSX.
It really is. Yeah, I'm kind of having a hiccup around that too. A little brain twitch.
I think this file, honestly, it threw me off the first time too. I really think they should kind of reorder it a little bit just for the sake of people coming into it. But yeah, Alex can definitely walk through, or I can walk through. I definitely have worked on these a lot too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think let's I'm gonna continue on with just like the instructional part of it. I mostly just wanted to poke out like kind of things that are here. But yeah, I do have a lot of questions that I'd love to get your feedback on, because it is very this doesn't look like React, which is fascinating.
And if we don't get to it by the end,
Yeah.
there is a great page on the docs called, I think it's called Conventions. Let me pull it up. Docs. Yeah. Yeah, it's the module
Guides.
constraints. It's the module constraints
Oh, gotcha. This one.
document.
Yep. Okay.
Right there. Yeah. That explains. Wait, is that it? I'll get back to you. You keep going on with what you were doing.
Or application modules API? Module API? No, that doesn't look like it. But it is, I mean, either way, this is good to know that.
Nope, that is it. It's application module APIs down there at the bottom. So it's the route module API that
Gotcha.
explains all of the different things that you can export as named exports
Very
from
cool.
a route module and
Okay.
do some magic that way.
Neat. Yeah, this is a pretty big document.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this, yeah, okay, cool. Thanks for pointing that out. Because yeah, we have like headers, we have what is it, meta, links, all this kind of stuff that is kind of like deceptively HTML-ish looking, but probably has some deeper level of integration. Okay, cool. App.
I'm definitely getting some
APIs.
Next.js vibes with it.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, it is interesting because I'm used to, in Next.js at least, like you import, what is it, Next Head or something like that,
Yeah.
which is kind of a wraparound helmet. Like it is fascinating that these are just like head. Like it's kind of throwing me a little bit. Okay, cool. So let's see. So we've got that part. Defining routes. Okay, cool. Route. Oh, I didn't add the route yet. So we're going to. Where were we? So we're in our document. We have our app. So I actually want to add it app, I guess. I mean, I guess I could put it in the way it's structured. I could put it in my footer. That seems kind of odd. Or I can just, I guess, throw it in the body here. I guess what I'm kind of looking for me is I assume I'm probably looking for. I mean, they're asking me to put it in root, but I think I would probably, me personally, put this in my index file. But I guess this is so it shows up in all of them.
Yeah, so it gets a little confusing. Yeah, your root is like everything.
Yeah.
Whereas index is literally just the slash.
Yeah,
page.
yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll put it here just because that's what the docs say to do. But yeah, it looks like I'd probably. I mean, I guess it's thinking more like as like a global nav maybe is why it's in this file.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. All right, GIS. Oh, we're already on that page. So let me back off of that and then go to GIS. Cool. So we have our first page and then we have our first link to that page. And then what did it take? It was just we had to import React Router DOM, link to, and then we just use the string. Cool. Doc number 2 is looking good. Now meta tags. Meta tags are fundamental to the web. So Remix makes it easy. From our route component, export a meta function. Okay, from there, return an object with the title key, and then any other meta tags you'd like to include, like the description. These will be server rendered and kept up to date as the user navigates around the app. Okay, so this is, I'm guessing, I'm gleaning that from GIS, it wants me to add this to the GIS page.
Does the function take anything? I mean, it doesn't show that.
Let me check the docs really quick. I don't wait. No, it has to.
It seems interesting why a function and not just like an object or something like that.
Right. So this is where it'd be good to dive into the type declarations just to see what's going on there.
Do you want to pop one or link one of those, and then I can?
Give me just a second.
Yeah. No worries. As per usual, my Zoom is kind of funky, so I can't even see the UI for Zoom anywhere. So I don't know where.
Sorry, I'm waiting for my VS Code to boot up.
It's on my third screen, obviously. If you're sending me links, you're gonna have to.
I won't be able to send you a link because it isn't public, but inside of the type declarations for Remix, the meta function takes an argument. So the argument, it's a single argument that's an object that you can destructure that gets the data for the app or for this page,
Mhm.
which we haven't done anything with, but that's taken care of by a loader. Parents data, which is all of the data that comes from the parent routes, which we also haven't done yet. Any URL, any route params. So if we were to change the name of our gists file so that it was so that it accepted route params, we could do that.
Okay.
We could have a title say like so and so's gist or like that, like, and have that be a param in the route.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the location object, which would give you access to the URL params.
Okay. Cool. So let's see what this did. So I think before, so I guess let me comment this out again. And oh, we can actually see it kind of happen actually really blazingly fast. So if you watch this one right here, so I removed that and then we kick this up and then I save that and it says, oh, never mind. It just refreshed. It says the same thing. So I'm curious
Well,
what, oh, I got to go
This
to
isn't going to do anything exactly.
Thanks, Alex. There we go. Okay, cool. So it was just giving the URL, and now we put that, and it changes the title, and then I assume description. So if we go here, yep, meta description. So this is interesting. This is an interesting API. The title isn't exactly meta, right? I don't know. I'm just like just thinking through this because like this one is like absolutely like a meta tag, and so I guess if I added another like key value pair, whatever. So I have
That's
another
true.
one that pops in there, but I guess title just kind of gets like some special treatment.
Helps limit the number of things you have to export.
Yeah. That's
You're gonna group it with something. I guess it makes sense to group it with meta.
Yeah.
Meta adjacent.
Right. Oh,
Meta
Sid, I
adjacent.
just saw your comment. Sorry. So would you want to console.log?
The arguments of the meta function.
Oh, okay. .log.
Yeah, this is nice. Like if you need to like pull out a name or whatever, I've had to do that before, and you want to like customize what that title tag is. This is a good way to be able to do that.
Okay. So object, we got location, params, and parents data.
So you remember that loader that was exported from root.jsx?
Mm-hmm.
That's the data that's being put into that root property on the parents data property object.
Loader. Oh, right here. Yep. Okay. Cool. Look at that. Bringing it back around, Alex. Thank you. Okay, cool. Now, but then we get location just as a function of this being like a React router driven app. That's going to come through all of them, it seems, theoretically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Okay. Feeling it. Any questions so far? Kind of going through it as we come up to it. So the next doc is loading data. Loading data, however you like. There are no rules, only suggestions.
Datums.
Datums.
I do have to give them props for being consistent. Like GIS is really like their docs. Like as always uses GIS.
Yeah, it is really nice. Okay, I'm not gonna read through all that. Your first loader, yes, bring it to me. Okay, so what are we going through? app.routes.gsx. So we gotta jump back into our gis file. Export a loader function that fetches latest gis from public. Okay. Does anyone call them gists?
I was literally thinking the exact same thing. I was hoping no.
I mean, I feel like if you're gonna call them gifts, you got to be consistent. You got to call them gists, right?
Hence proved.
I feel like any of yeah, was it GIF? The GIF people. No wait, yeah. I don't know. You got to pick one or the other, and this makes it really difficult. Because I guess, like by my same logic, I need to start calling them GIFs, right? Okay.
Well, gist is a word though, so it's a little different.
This is a word too.
Like it
It's
existed
like
before
peanut
GitHub
butter.
showed up. No, that does not count.
GitHub?
It's also a cleaning
Exactly.
solution in New Zealand. So
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, there it is.
But these are all.
Oh, sorry.
I just said those are all brands. Like gist is an actual English word. Like it predates the internet.
Okay, GIFs, GitHub, and GIFs. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm on board. Okay, so back to work. Into this file, we're going to import type. So does this matter if I'm not in TypeScript?
No.
It won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because I'm in JavaScript. Fair enough. Let loader. So I didn't realize when I chose JavaScript that all the documentation was in TypeScript. This is interesting. So export let loader turn fetch. I think it already had a part of it in there. api.github.com gist. Okay, so that's all we need to do. Now we need to access the data for the route. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can be.
Just when Marie gets here.
Yeah, yep. Cool. So access just, okay, so we need to now do another import. Oh, wait. Yeah.
I'm assuming this can be like async function,
Yeah.
and we can await a couple different things and then just return one thing if we need to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this is super. Okay, this is definitely tripping up my brain a little bit. The idea of, I like how Alex and Brooks like know the journey and like just watching me like trip over the rocks. Like, like,
Yeah.
like yeah,
It's
it is.
initiation.
It's gonna wreck your brain. Get ready. Get ready.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's so funny because I have in this same file, I have the loader for the data, and then I have like kind of the rendering for the data. And it's weird. It's kind of like this like, you know, throw catch type of thing, but like it's happening all in the same file.
I can give you like a Next.js comparison if that's helpful.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So you know how you have like Git static props
Mm-hmm.
and Next.js or Git server side? And so you have that written in the same file, but that gets stripped out and is server side only. And then those are passed in as props. Well, Remix is doing the same thing, but instead of using props, it's just using a hook to pull out the data.
Gotcha.
So it's like the exact same pattern.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That is,
I'm pretty sure loader takes the same arguments as meta as well.
I think you're
okay.
right. Yeah. At least they're very similar. There might have been some differences. I remember getting confused on something.
There
like
are
that, though.
differences. So it doesn't get the data from the parents. It does get the request object, and it gets the app load context, which is something that you can set up when you initialize your app in entry.server.jsx.
okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so what we've done here is we're just getting that data. We've done all the hookup to get that data into the component, but we're not doing anything except logging it out. So let's see that we got it. Yep. Obj. And then these are just, what is it? These are just like all the most recent gists. Just like anytime someone posts, like, that's crazy.
I kind of find it interesting. Like it's resolving that data, like the JSON and all that. Are they like? I was like expecting to do like, you know, a dot then on the end and
Right. Yes, that is
So-
a very interesting takeaway because I'm just calling fetch and then I don't have to do the kind of like response to JSON stuff.
Right. The reason for that has everything to do with the way that the loader API works. It actually expects you to return a web response object, which you can create using new response, and then you can pass in whatever you want. As it happens, the fetch API returns a response object that you can then resolve to JSON or text or whatever you want. And so it's resolving the response to JSON for us.
Now, is that...
And Alex, don't they have their JSON helper as well?
They have the JSON helper if you are passing your own JSON. So in this case, we're getting the JSON from gists. If we were creating our own object to return, then we could use their JSON helper. I'm pretty sure they also have some syntactic sugar where you can just return an object and it'll automatically convert it to a JSON response for you.
Is the paradigm of a loader the idea is like this is the stuff that should be loaded server side?
Exactly.
And then you can still do client side stuff if there's still other client side things you want to do after the fact.
Bingo.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm getting it.
Okay.
Yep.
So-
it is very similar to get server side props in Next.js.
Okay, so loader is a special word then?
It's a loaded word.
Okay, so yeah, because I just
Yes.
changed it to loaderer, and everything does not happen the way that it is supposed to. So this is fascinating that it's like, so it's looking for this particular property on this module or export on this module. Okay, cool, interesting. I like Ben's observation about this being like a TypeScript by default. That is interesting. I have not experienced that yet either. So this is kind of a fun little journey and a confusing one if you inadvertently chose the JavaScript one, thinking that it was going to be easier. Hooray me! Okay, cool. So we got that, and then I guess let's see. So
Hey, there's the answer that we just talked about.
I love this. This is how you know the docs are good, right? Is that like every time you're like you have a question, there's an answer like coming right at you. Okay, cool. So scratching your head at that last bit. Why didn't we have to unwrap the fetch response with the usual await response.json? Okay, cool. Just in the interest of time, we're going to identify that this document is here and then kind of continue on through tasks that we can do. But I'm glad that we had that problem and then identify that this is something that this is where that doc lives. Cool. Here is some more information if you need. Let's see, response helpers. Okay, so this was my next question. I'm glad that they're jumping into this. Most of the time, you'll want to use Remix's built-in response helpers in your loader. The JSON helper will deal with the content type automatically while still giving you control over the headers, status, code, etc. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's why the JSON helper is particularly helpful. It creates the response object for you, and it lets you attach like headers, the status code, any other stuff you want to put onto the response object
Nice.
itself without you having to actually create the response object. So it's just syntactic sugar.
Okay, very cool.
And I was right. You can just return anything you want and it'll work.
Okay, cool. Other return values. So you don't have to build up a fully response. Okay, cool. So if I wanted to now, can I do multiple loaders? I guess that's my question. I can't. I mean, I can only export one thing.
Exactly.
So I can only have one loader per route.
Caveats. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
every page can have, every route can have a single loader. You're right.
Okay.
You also have parent routes. So if we were to nest some of our routes together, like suppose you wanted to make it so that, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not going to make an example, but you have nested routes.
Mm-hmm.
The parent route that renders the child route can have its own loader to load its own data.
Yep.
And then the child can load its own data as well.
Gotcha.
And you can have access to all of that data on the routes.
Okay.
Sorry, you have the parent data available in the loader.
Yeah. So let me. You don't have the parent data available in the loader.
Okay.
There's a reason for that, but it's because
You
the
do, 'cause I've
loaders.
done this before.
the loaders
Right.
load in parallel. So you can't have the parent data in the child loader and have them both run parallel because you have to load the parent data before you run the child data. So no, you can't have parent data in the child loader. You have access to all of the parameters which the parent loader could have used to generate its data. So you can do what's necessary in the child. One example where this would be helpful, suppose you have a sidebar that has a list of all of the gists that you might want to load. That's the parent loader that's loading all of the gists, as we see here. And then you click on one of those, and it loads a child route for just that gist. And it has to, the loader has to load all of the data for that individual gist. So you have one loader that loads the list of gists, one that loads an individual gist.
The gist list.
The gist list, or the gist list.
The gist list.
The gist.
Guest list? Did you say guest list? No, the gist list. Oops.
Yeah, so in the chat, Brooks posted a link to nested layouts.
Okay, cool. Remix nested layouts. Ooh, nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. Check that out, y'all. All right, let's carry on. So one loader, because we can only have one export, and then there's ways to navigate that, which I'm sure we will cover. Probably not today because we're getting close to time. But then Brooks has a demonstration on the remix nested layouts. Thank you, Brooks. Let's see. Okay, so what I'd done while we were chatting, I just copy and pasted this real quick to show that we are just. This is just a regular React component. We're going to take the data, which we have named, getting it off of use route data or datums, and then we're just mapping over that, creating gists with links. And these go to wherever they go. Okay, cool. Let's speed on along. Let's see, data for meta tags. Like headers, meta tags pretty much always depend on data too. So remix. Okay, so this is this is a question I think that you had, Travis, earlier about meta tags being able to accept datums. So let's do that. We're going to destructure the data property off of this object and then use it to, so this is gists data dot from the public, and I can't see enough of it in the bar here. I guess I can close some of these, right? Oh nope, it's Safari, it's not going to show. Give me more space, come on.
Well, that's in the description anyway.
Oh, right, yeah. It's not going to show me the description. So view the latest. That doesn't seem to be coming through. Maybe I missed something. Oh, was that an error? Oh,
There we go.
Latest 30. I must have caused an error and then it wasn't reloading. Okay, cool. Awesome. So we have the data, and then that is, man, this is such a weird loop. This is like reminding me of like contexts and like wormholes that you could create in context. So it's like, so we have the loader that's going to load, and then it's going to but then we have this meta function, but that is responsive to the data that we get by rendering this component. Okay. Fascinating. Okay, finished product. Here's the full code using all of the route APIs, even introduced so far, as well as quick type for gists. Okay, cool. I'm curious if I just sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here. If I change this to a TSX, like, is there additional config that is doing stuff, or can I just change this individually to a TSX file?
I'm not sure. You might need to install TypeScript, and you might need a tsconfig.json file.
That's what I was wondering.
Looks like it isn't busted.
It kind of. Let me copy the TypeScript final product and see.
Yeah,
it
and thankfully, the
strips
cool thing about
types.
Remix is how easy the types are. Like you basically just only use action function and loader function for the most part. There's some complexity, like if you try to type the sessions though, like they show in their docs. But outside of that, it's pretty straightforward. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong there though.
Yeah.
No, I've pretty much only used those two types.
Yeah, I'll drop a link to the repo where I typed their with session utility. That was the most complex thing I had, and it was easy. So
You're getting a type error, Michael. You need to change your loader function into an async function
Oh, gotcha.
because wait, you just copied and pasted that? That's an error built right into the docs. Nice.
Dun dun dun.
there's still a few of them that you'll catch, but they have
Yeah.
the under construction signs everywhere. So it's to be expected a little bit.
Yeah.
What's that? That's gonna be
I'm
right
really
here.
disappointed that
Yeah.
they're not the 1990s, guy like digging under construction.
And then you also need to import the JSON helper, which
Return.
VS Code
Oh,
should be able to
right.
help you with, or you
Yeah.
can just import that from, I think, Remix.
Travis, have you considered adding a use GeoCities hook to your library?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I need to. Yeah. Use GeoCities.
Okay, cool. So it looks like that worked, barring the errors in the documentation. Yeah, so we got a fresh list. Everything
Dope.
seems to work. This is using a TSX file with the types. We did have an error here, and what was the other one? JSON. We need to import
Yeah,
that.
just had to import something.
But yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, I think we're kind of at the end of where we're at today, but I'm having my mind blown all over the place. So there's a lot of really cool stuff. So where are we at right now? We're on the nested routes and params, which is great because it seems like that's probably tied to what Brooks linked as well. So I think this is probably, when we pick up again, I don't know, I might try to do this sometime next week, do another one of these. Pick up where we left off and do the nested routes, styling,
It's Fridays,
actions, and
right?
data. What was that?
Remix Fridays.
Yeah, maybe. I'll see if I have anything planned. My kid's at a camp. I was thinking I might go kind of work remotely from there. So we'll see. And then so what we covered was installing Remix, defining routes, loading data, and we learned a lot, mostly in this file. I think I'll probably, I guess I could commit this up, but yeah, I'll just put this on GitHub for the heck of it, so you can see where we got today. I want to thank you all for your help. It was super helpful to kind of talk this stuff through because it's a little bit different, a little bit confusing. I can see why I know Ryan and Michael have had challenges kind of getting people into a remix mindset, and I can see why after years of kind of like Gatsby and Next and those kinds of worldviews, how this would be like very challenging. And I'm not totally sure how you would tell someone to think, like break their mind for this style of writing up front. So I don't know.
I mean, Gatsby convinced us that bespoke GraphQL was a good idea, so I think we'll be fine.
Everything is possible with enough VC money. Cool. Anything y'all want to leave us with? Any thoughts, directions before the next time? Outstanding questions that we can notate for next? Good? Cool. All right, well, we can keep on talking about this stuff in chat. Thanks, y'all, for being here. If you're watching this later, thank you for being here. I hope that our discussion around this was able to kind of clarify some questions that you might have had, or even just reaffirm your belief in the documentation and how it's going to guide you through. So yeah, that's it. If you want to join us for future ones of these, check out events.lunch.dev/discord and hang out with us. All these beautiful people are in there, and we're just hanging out and learning and teaching each other all the time. So this was super fun, everybody. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Peace.